We are here in the reading room at the Lawrence County Museum off the library. And I just wanted to say a couple of words about the semi-quincentennial, also known as the America 250 celebration here in Lawrence County. There is a committee, and it includes a lot of people you would know who are active in community organizations, and these are the organizations who took this celebration and made it their own. They made it successful by putting together events. And I don't want to go into all the events because there were many, and there still are a few left to take place. But if you want the full schedule, it is posted on the museum website and also on the museum and the Lawrence County America 250 Facebook page. Just to say, we've been actively working on a celebration, an appropriate celebration for America's 250th birthday, and we hope that you will be able to participate in at least some of these events. The next one being our big parade, and there's a military flyover on July the 4th. That's all happening at noon. And then the fireworks in the evening. Hope to see you at some of these things.
I'm Jeff Routh, and I'm on the board at the Lawrence County Museum. Indiana really didn't exist in 1776, so we really didn't have a great contribution at the time. But we have what's called the Vincennes Tract Line. Vincennes was already in existence before the Revolution. It actually was part of the Revolution. George Rogers Clark marched across Illinois and recaptured Vincennes because it was a British fort. Vincennes was in existence, so when the Northwest Territory and then later the Indiana Territory were formed, Vincennes was already here. But the area around Vincennes had already been ceded to the British, so it was no longer Indian control. But most of the rest of the state was Indian control. So in the Treaty of Fort Wayne in 1803, ceded most of the southern part of Indiana to, at that point in time, the colonial forces. This tract crosses Lawrence County, and if you drive out US 50 toward Huron, as you're going down the road there'll be a sign to your left, a historic marker that says Vincennes Tract Line. And then that tract goes on into Orange County and connects with a place called Freeman's Corner. And it's just on the north edge of Orleans. And that was the junction point of about 6 or 7 Indian treaties. So this Vincennes Tract Line kind of bisects Lawrence County, and everything to the south of that became American soil, and the rest of the state was still Indian controlled. Then later treaties removed the Indians from here. This is one thing that actually did happen in Lawrence County and is still here today, is the Vincennes Tract Line.
Hello, my name is Marla Jones, and I serve as a curator here at the Lawrence County Museum in Bedford, Indiana. I also serve as the Lawrence County historian. Today I'm here to talk to you about Washington crossing the Delaware and what that means to Bedford, and more specifically, the America 250 semi-quincentennial. So back in 1974, Merle Eddington, who was the chamber president of the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce, was attending a meeting in Indianapolis when the lieutenant governor challenged the attendees to consider how they would celebrate the 200th birthday of America in 1976. They wanted to do it in a significant way. This is something that Merle thought about and quickly came up with the idea of Washington crossing the Delaware, and perhaps it could be made in stone. So he came back to Bedford and talked to key players as to if that was something that they might be interested in, and if it was something that could be completed in the year and a half that they had. So they immediately spoke to Frank Arena, who is photographed here, and asked him if he would be willing to serve as the point person for this and be the master carver. Frank was very good at modeling statues. If you were to look around Bedford, you'd see lots of work done by Frank. I think one of the easy things to see is if you were in the Green Hill Cemetery, the Doughboy was one of the works that he pointed. If you're here on the square, you could see the columns of the beautiful Masonic temple here in Bedford, that he carved the columns and the relief work there. I believe when he was still a teenager, as his final project to become a master carver. But getting back to Merle Eddington, They spoke with the Elliott Stone Company and some other members of the Indiana Limestone Institute, and were able to assemble carvers to work on this project together. Like I say, they thought it would take about a year to pull it together, and only took a little over 6 months, so it was ready long before they thought it would be. I believe that when they put this project together, they certainly chose something that includes everyone in the United States. It was really a point of pride 50 years ago that these limestone carvers and the limestone mills and the owners and the Institute all collaborated to bring this to the United States and give it to the citizens in such a meaningful way. For America's 250, we've added a lot of very interesting exhibits. One of those would be the Washington crossing the Delaware. Interesting elements that you don't want to miss would be this full-color portrait of George Washington, the leader of our country and the first president of the United States. Also, the Washington crossing the Delaware pen and ink drawing by local artist Nelson Sears. Now, the statue actually appeared or was sitting at the courthouse twice before it went to Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania. It came here on November the 11th, 1975 for a special veterans project, and then it also came back in June of 1976 before it left to go to Washington Crossing, Pennsylvania and take its tour there.
Hi, I'm Becky Boer, and I volunteer here at the Lawrence County Museum. I wanted to talk to you about the America 250 that we're doing. This display here is about the Revolutionary soldiers that lived in Lawrence County and are buried here. There are about 50 of them, which really surprised me. I didn't imagine that. This side is a collection of items about Francis Scott Key, and it's of particular interest to us because one of our staff member, Marla Jones, she is related. She and Francis Scott Key have common ancestors.
Hi, I'm Rowena Cross-Nadolfi. I'm the president of the Lawrence County Historical and Genealogical Society, and we are here on the second floor of the Lawrence County Museum in our community gallery to highlight an exhibit that we are particularly proud of. It is the flag in art. The items on display here are artworks done by our local artists from the Lawrence County Art Association. There are also some museum artifacts in here as well. We think it's absolutely fitting on this 250th birthday of our democracy to highlight the flag that has stood for that democracy all these 250 years. So we can just take a look around at some of the things that we have here. We'll just start over here on the left side of the exhibit and take a look at some of the things that we have here. Tricia Hillenberg has done this pencil drawing of an eagle, which, as we all know, is a symbol of the United States. We have a memorial flag down here from a person who served his country, and there's a picture. His name was Joseph Ralph, and this was donated by Jeff. Moving on, there's a sheet explaining how the flag should be displayed, what the rules are. This is something that it's amazing how many of us really don't know, so it's very handy to have. And then we have a needlepoint sampler with the Pledge of Allegiance. This was created in the 1950s, which would have been about the same time as the words "under God" were added. So you see that is in this sampler. This is a 48-star flag that was donated by the family of Robert and Edna M. Klaus Wood from Mitchell. Interesting to see how the flag developed over time. We have a flag made in basket weave by the Longaberger Basket Company. Some of you may remember there was a time when lots of people were collecting these baskets. Up here we have Andy Roberts from the Art Association drew the flag with the courthouse. This is really a lovely piece. You know, the raising of the flag at Iwo Jima, which was put together by Frank Wigley. Here's an exhibit of the different American flags. And we have some paintings and another 48-star flag from our collection donated by Sarah Kern, and a variety of paintings that include the flag. So just a reminder of how present the flag is in our day-to-day life. Even if we don't notice it, we don't think about it. And lots of us don't fly the flag on our porch or anything like that, but it's everywhere, and it reminds us of who we are and what we strive for. We do hope that you will all come and visit us in the museum and come check out this exhibit.